With over 18 million subscribers, Outdoor Boys is undoubtedly one of the most iconic channels to ever exist. But with millions of dollars left on the table, Luke Nichols did the unthinkable. He walked away from a fortune to be a full-time father. We saw that same humanity again recently. Luke came out of retirement to film a grueling Alaskan adventure, but not for himself. He posted it on his friend Steven's channel after Steven's wife was diagnosed with cancer. Luke made sure all the revenue went to Steven's family during their crisis. You see, this wasn't just some random one-off gesture. It's what makes Outdoor Boys so special. To understand why this channel is so unparalleled, we have to look back at the story of how it all began. See, the most interesting thing about Luke isn't just that he can build a shelter out of snow. It's that for years before conquering YouTube, he was already doing well in a completely different career. Let me explain. Before he was a full-time YouTuber, Luke was actually a very successful traffic attorney in Northern Virginia. He co-founded a law firm where he specialized in DUI defense and traffic law. For over 11 years, Luke was in a suit and tie, arguing in a courtroom and expanding his law practice. However, in his own words, Luke eventually realized that his law practice wasn't gonna get much bigger, and that he needed something else to do. You see, because he already had a stable career, he never needed YouTube to pay his bills. He wasn't desperate for views, which allowed him to build his channel with a level of integrity that most full-time creators can't afford. The thing is, he wasn't performing for an algorithm. He was just documenting a life he already loved. But quite surprisingly, Luke's path to success wasn't fast or easy. He had to outwork everyone else on the platform for almost a decade. In 2013, Luke started his first channel, called Catfish and Carp. For nearly 10 years, he maintained a schedule that would break most people. He posted a video every single Saturday. Luke didn't chase viral trends. He just did what he loved and made it entertaining. Eventually, after 3 years of consistency, he hit 100,000 subscribers by simply showing people how to fish. Even when he eventually transitioned to Outdoor Boys, the vibe stayed the same. But everything would change during the pandemic. In 2020, as the world shut down, Luke made a life-altering choice. His law practice was successful, but his heart was already set. He officially stepped away from law to do YouTube full-time and moved his family from Virginia back to his home state, Alaska. He wasn't just catching fish anymore. He was building log cabins in the subarctic and sleeping in hand-dug snow caves. See, what makes Luke's videos so special is what you don't see in them. Pretty much every big YouTuber interrupts their video in the middle to sell you a VPN or a mobile game. But Luke understands that when you have his video pulled up, you don't want to be interrupted by some meaningless cash grab. That is why Luke refuses to take sponsorships. He doesn't even run mid-roll ads. He has left tens of millions of dollars on the table because he understands exactly what you want when you're watching him spread honey butter on some bread. He values your time more than his own bank account. And luckily for him, this commitment did not go unnoticed. While Luke had been growing steadily for years, the channel hit a new gear in late 2023. The algorithm began pushing his long-form survival videos everywhere. The turning point was a video titled 4 Days Alone in Alaska. It wasn't just a hit, it took the world by storm, sitting at over 58 million views. But this wasn't some random accident. Within months, his view counts became just unbelievable, shooting up into the billions. By early 2024, Outdoor Boys had grown into a global phenomenon, reaching a scale where Luke's quiet weekend adventures were being watched by more people than many primetime television shows. He hit the 10 million subscriber milestone in record time, all while maintaining his no sponsorship tradition. But for Luke, the numbers were never the goal, the memories were. As his sons, Tommy, Nate, and Jacob began to reach the end of their teenage years, the Outdoor Boys dynamic naturally shifted. True to the integrity he showed at the start of his career, Luke didn't try to pivot into a corporate brand. He didn't hire a replacement host or turn the channel into a content farm. Instead, he chose to go out on top. At the absolute peak of his fame, Luke released a video that changed everything. A simple 4-minute upload titled Goodbye. In the video, Luke looked directly into the camera and laid out the reality of his journey. 11 years of content, 2 different channels, and a staggering 1,110 videos. He spoke with a raw kind of honesty that fans hadn't ever seen before, detailing the physical and mental toll of a decade-long grind, filming through pneumonia, building log cabins while injured, and the endless cycle of packing and editing. While the channel had gained an incredible 12 million subscribers in just 18 months, the success came with a cost. With over 6.8 billion total views across all platforms, Luke expressed a deep concern for his family's privacy. He realized that to protect his son's ability to live normal lives, he had to stop the grow before it became unmanageable. He admitted that the fame was beginning to impact his family's safety, and he made the difficult choice to step away while they could still live a normal life. He wanted to focus on being a father and helping his sons, like Tommy, transition into adulthood and explore their own paths. Luke's final words in the forest weren't to ask for likes or subscribers. He simply asked his viewers to go out and find someone to help. But Luke didn't want to leave his audience empty-handed. He explained that he still had several unfinished videos. In a final gesture of gratitude to his viewers, he promised to release these as one last big dump of content at the end of the year. These final scheduled videos, like 3 days camping and fishing Alaska's wilderness, were like a parting gift, allowing the community to celebrate his legacy one last time before the channel officially went dark. For a while, the entire internet assumed that they had seen the last of Luke Nichols' content. But then a video appeared that nobody expected. You see, this video wasn't on the Outdoor Boys channel. It was on My Life Outdoors, a channel run by his longtime friend Steven. Steven's family was going through an unimaginable crisis following his wife's cancer diagnosis. See, Luke came out of his quiet life to record and post a video to help out his friend. The video, titled Camping in a Snowstorm with No Tent, No Sleeping Bag, was classic Luke. There were no flashy graphics or pleas for likes. It was just him in the brutal cold, enduring a grueling night in a handmade shelter. He didn't do it for the 10 million views the video quickly racked up. He did it so that every cent of that ad revenue could go towards Steven's family and their medical bills. Luke Nichols spent a decade teaching us how to survive the wilderness, how to build shelters, and how to start fires in the rain. But in his final act, he showed us that his greatest lesson wasn't about wilderness gear or primitive survival. It was about the willingness to show up for the people you love when it matters most. He started as a lawyer, became a global phenomenon, and ended exactly where he wanted to be. Not as a content creator, but as a father, a friend, and a man who lived his life with integrity that will never be replicated.